Hi everyone, Emily Austin,
And Eric Martin. Together we are
Austin and Martin Broker Team.
powered by Metropolis. Nice to be back outside as the weather is definitely taking a turn for the better here in Seattle.
And spring is here.
Yeah, spring has sprung, as we say.
So if we sneeze, you'll know why.
Today we want to talk about something that we've seen a lot recently, which is buyers who are having a hard time finding what they're looking for.
It's true.
Yeah, and so if we think about what buyers are looking for, we can generally put that into three categories. The first category would be location, so the actual where they want to live, and that could be a broad geographical area, that could be down to a single school district. Second thing is the what they want. So the where and the what. The what are the features and amenities that they're looking for. Are they looking for a house versus a condo? Do they need a certain number of bedrooms, a certain square footage? Do they need a backyard? All the things, right?
Yep.
Lastly is
how much they are approved for in their purchase.
Yeah, what's their budget? So the budget might be dictated by a bank, the budget might be dictated by their down payment, but generally speaking, people have a budget. So the how much, we've got the where, the what, and the how much. And where those three overlap, and you have to have all three of them overlapping, where those three overlap is where you're going to find, or where a buyer is going to find their next house. So what's interesting is sometimes the targets move because prices go up, interest rates go up, situations change.
Things out of their control.
Yeah, but what we're seeing a lot is there's just not very much in that intersection for some buyers. Either because the market has changed or because what they're looking for is simply in such short demand.
It doesn't exist where they want it.
Yeah. So recently we had a good example of a young couple that we were working with. When we started working with them late last year, a few houses were showing up in that sweet spot, but they would escalate out of the sweet spot. And then as time went on and prices went up and interest rates went up, the sweet spot got smaller and smaller to the point where we really weren't finding much of anything.
In fact, we were wasting time.
Yeah, we were looking at things that weren't going to work. And so what we did with them, we said, let's see what's possible and let's adjust the circles. We couldn't adjust their budget, but we said, let's first adjust the what you're looking for. And so instead of looking for houses, we looked for
condos. We spent a full day looking for condos. Oh, let's preface this by saying you're not going to buy anything that we're going to show you.
Yeah, we said we're going to spend 2 days not buying anything, but let's see what's possible. So the first day we looked at condos, which wasn't their initial what, but they were where they wanted and within the price point
and
that they wanted.
And it gave them a little feeling of hope.
Yeah, they were like, oh, these aren't so bad. We could do one of these. And then the next day, we changed the where, and we went to
Tacoma.
So we took them down to Tacoma, and which was out of the area that they wanted to live in. And we spent just 1 day looking at houses. Now we were back to what they wanted, but in a different location. And I think we saw 8 houses that first day, which was more houses than they had seen the entire couple of months we had been searching closer to their initial where.
Which definitely gave them hope.
Yeah, so that gave them a big hope. We then had them actually do the commute from Tacoma because that was the big reason, the why behind their where, was they didn't want too long of a commute. So we said, do the commute for 2 days. They stayed at a hotel in Tacoma, did the commute, got excited, and within 2 weeks, what happened?
We got them into contract.
Yeah,
so a beautiful home.
Beautiful home in Tacoma. They're super excited. They've been spending a lot of time down there.
And they love it.
Yeah. So the takeaway, if you're a buyer, is recognize that you've got three components that make up where or what you're going to find, right? The where, the what, and the how much. And if you're not finding something, think about which one of those you can and are willing to adjust, because sometimes that's what it takes.
Exactly.
I think that's it. Eric Martin and Emily Austin. Together we are
Austin and Martin.
Let us guide you home. And if you'd like us to continue guiding you, please hit the subscribe button hit the little bell so you'll get notifications when we do new videos.
And feel free to share these videos. Sometimes
yeah, if
you
you
might know somebody who could benefit from hearing
if
this.
you know a buyer who's feeling frustrated, this might help. So thanks for
Thanks.
watching.